You ever just wonder how Patrick Mahomes just throws a no-look pass? Or how he just seems to know where everyone is on the field without even turning his head? Well, it turns out his secret weapon isn't just his arm, it's literally his eyes. I'm Dr. Mitchell, a practicing optometrist in the state of North Carolina, and today we're going to dive deep on how elite athletes, especially Mahomes, how he sees the game differently, and how vision science plays a much bigger role in performance than most people realize. Let me take you back for a second. When I was 9 years old, I thought I was going to be a great football player. I strapped on the helmet, got out on the field, and I felt like chaos. Too many moving pieces, everything was too fast, I couldn't keep up where the ball was, what plays were going on, and who was coming at me. I was struggling with visual processing. I couldn't organize all the visual chaos around me fast enough to act on it. So eventually, I gave up. Now, as an eye doctor, I understand what I was missing and what athletes like Patrick Mahomes have mastered. Let's start with something called the quiet eye. This is a term researchers use to describe the final fixation or gaze that an athlete holds right before making a movement. Dr. Joan Vickers found that elite athletes tend to hold this fixation longer. They take in visual information more clearly and use this as a guide for their performance. Their eyes aren't just watching, they're literally leading them. And nobody embodies this more than Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes does something that his trainers call the owl-like vision. He can keep his head completely still, like an owl, while his eyes can scan the entire field. This isn't just a nickname, it's rooted in real science. And let's break it down. First is gaze stabilization, which involves the vestibulo-ocular reflex, or VOR for short. This reflex stabilizes the image on your retina as your head moves. When Mahomes keeps his head still, he reduces motion blur and processes information faster with more clarity. Second is eye-head decoupling. He can move his eyes without moving his head. That gives him the ability to scan defenders, track receivers, and make no-look passes with zero hesitation. Third is stability as a visual anchor. When your head stays still, your brain gets a reliable reference frame. That means better spatial awareness and predictive processing. Mahomes doesn't just react, he sees the play before it unfolds. And fourth, it's just faster perception to action timing. When your visual input is clean, your brain sends out motor commands quicker. That's how Mahomes can adjust mid-throw or make plays while off balance and still stay accurate. Now, let's talk about vision therapy and how elite athletes use it. While Mahomes hasn't publicly confirmed formal vision therapy, his training clearly reflects this principle. He's done drills where he's blindfolded, spun around, and still hits his targets. This is vestibular visual processing at a very high level, and he's not the only one. Larry Fitzgerald, NFL receiver, used vision therapy as a kid. He credits it with improving his reaction time, coordination, and spatial awareness. Major League Baseball players, like those on the Red Sox, work with sports vision specialists to track pitches better and improve timing. Vision therapy targets eye tracking, depth perception, peripheral awareness, visual reaction speed, and overall brain-eye coordination. This isn't just about 20/20 vision. It's about how fast your brain can use what your eyes are seeing. And if you're sitting there thinking, I'm not a pro athlete, but I want to train like one, well, here's a few at-home tools that you can do right now just to sharpen your visual edge. All right, so the first is called Brock String. This is a classic tool used in optometry clinics, and it's easy to set up at home. It's simply a long string with a few beads on it. Tie one end to a doorknob or stable object, and then hold the other end at your nose. Slide the beads to a different distance and focus on each one individually, and as you do this, you should see the string forming an X with the bead in the center. This tells you that your eyes are converging properly. If you see double or the strings don't cross at the bead, that's a feedback that your eye alignment needs some work. By practicing just a few minutes a day, you can improve both your depth perception and your binocular alignment. All right, so let's continue training you like an athlete that you want to be. Second thing we're going to do is reaction light drills, and here's a do-it-yourself style. You don't need expensive tech for this. Just stick some colorful post-its or targets around the room. You can do it to your left, to your right, above you, and behind. Have someone randomly call out a color or number and quickly look at it or just tap the target. You can also use a flashlight to create a pop-up visual cue if you're training solo. This boosts peripheral awareness, visual scanning, and reaction speed, all critical for athletes who need to react in a moment in real time. Think of it as building a 360-degree visual radar. That way, you're just never really just caught off guard. Third thing you can do is flashcard drills with a metronome. This one is all about processing speed. Grab flashcards with letters, numbers, or patterns. Set a metronome to a steady beat, let's just say around 60 beats per minute. Flip a new flashcard on every beat and call out what it is. No pausing. As you improve, speed up the tempo. This challenges visual recognition, cognitive processing, and tracking under time pressure, stimulating real game urgency, and it teaches your brain to see, think, and respond faster, which is exactly what real athletes do when they're training. Alright, so you don't need NFL level resource to train your visual system. You can do exactly what we just described, or you can actually look for an eye doctor that actually does these types of practices. Just do a simple Google search. You just need consistency and a purpose. Because here's the truth, whether you're an athlete, a coach, or just a weekend warrior, your vision leads your performance. And when you train your eyes like your game depends on it, everything else gets better. So yeah, Mahomes, he's an elite, but his vision might actually be his real superpower. If you learned anything new or you got a new perspective from the video, consider hitting the like and subscribe button, and then I'll see you on the next one.